Looking for some short books to really boost those reading numbers? I realized that I have a ton of them on my TBR. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Bree and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I realized that I have a ton of short books on my TBR, books that are about 200-ish pages or less, and I'm going to be talking about them today. I want to kind of give you guys some recommendations. Now, they may not be actual recommendations because I haven't read them yet. If you do want actual recommendations, I am going to link a video up above where I talked about some of my favorite short books. I posted that last year right around Amazing Readathon time, and this time for the Gala of Peace for Realmathon that is coming up this weekend, we need all of the short books we can get. So let's talk about the ones that are a pile of possibilities for me. First, let's talk about the ones that I own physically. Obviously, that is a big goal of mine, to read my own physical TBR, and so I have a little stack of novellas here. First up, we have Mountains Made of Glass by Scarlett St. Clair. This, I believe, is a Snow White retelling. I really have enjoyed the books that I have read from Scarlett, but I have not read any of her novellas, and so I want to try this one. This one comes out at just over 200 pages. Then we have The Scourge Between Stars by Ness Brown. This is a sci-fi horror, I believe, and I remember Lexi talking about this. She did it for her book club last year, I think it was. Unfortunately, I didn't get to it, so it's still on my shelf. This says, as acting captain of the starship Calypso, Jackson Albright is responsible for keeping the last humanity alive as they limp back to Earth from their forebears' failed colony on a distant planet. Faced with constant threats of starvation and destruction in the treacherous minefield of interstellar space, Jacqueline's crew has reached their breaking point. As unrest begins to spread through the ship's wards, a new threat emerges, picking off crew members in grim, bloody fashion. Jacqueline and her team must hunt the ship's unknown intruder if they have any hope of making it to their solar system alive. I love sci-fi horror and space horror. That is such an interesting genre blend for me, so very excited about picking this one up. I also haven't read a ton of sci-fi this year, so that could be exciting. Another horror I have is Rest Stop by Nat Cassidy. This is a book that a lot of people have been talking about recently, and this is literally about a guy who has to stop at a rest stop and then some really creepy things happen. It's very fast paced. I don't know much about it, but it legitimately does not have a synopsis on the back. So we're gonna go into that one very blind. And then I have a couple of fantasy books. We have The Dead Cattail Assassins by P. Djeli Clark. I actually have an audiobook of this from Libro FM, and so that's probably how I will listen to this one. Even the Eviscerator is skilled, discreet, professional, and here for your most pressing needs in the ancient city of Talabisi. Her guild is strong, her blades are sharp, and her rules are simple. Those sworn to the matron of assassins, resurrected, deadly wiped from their memories, have only 3 unbreakable vows. So they're like zombies? Interesting. First, the contract must be just. That's above Evine's pay grade. Second, even the most powerful assassin may only kill the contracted. Evine's a professional. She's never missed the mark. The third, and the simplest, once you accept a job, you must carry it out. And if you stray, a final death would be mercy. When the Festival of the Clockwork King turns the city upside down, Evine's newest mission brings her face to face with a past she isn't supposed to remember and a vow she cannot forget. Sounds very, very cool, very fast paced. Then we have A Quest of Rangers by Jasmine Young. I also have A Descent of Dragons on my ebook, but these are short novellas that are part of the Realm Builder world. This is 1.5, so it's right after Breaking of Realms, and then The Descent of Dragons is 0.5, so it's actually a prequel novella. So I definitely want to get to both of those. And then also I have A Matter of Execution by Nicholas and Olivia Atwater. Olivia Atwater is the author of Small Miracles, and she wrote this with her husband. It is a prequel novella to a story that they are writing together. The Ebon Warden has sentenced Captain William Blair to hang for another goblin's crime. Thankfully, he's got sharp wits, his loyal crew, and a long history of dubious behavior on his side. When the man who's supposed to hang next to Will offers his help, however, the crew of the Iron Rose is unexpectedly drawn into local politics. Soon, the stakes are far higher than any one goblin, and the only way out of a dreadful disaster is to steal from the Ebon Warden himself. Okay, so those are books that I own physically that I definitely want to get to. Then there are a couple of romance novellas that I am excited about. I actually have them bundled as a physical book, but they are technically like few novellas together. So the first one I have is Love and Other Flight Delays by Denise Williams. So the first one is The Love Connection. They are essentially these like cute, sexy, fun novellas that all take place at airports, which as a frequent flyer, that sounds fun and interesting. So The Love Connection is the first first one, an airport pet groomer meets her frequent flyer crush and finds herself in a fake dating situation with a professional risk assessor who moonlights as a romance author. That's a lot happening, and it sounds like it's going to be a fun time. Then we have The Missed Connection. Two strangers share a romantic night only to discover months later that they are professional rivals, about to embark on an extended business trip together in this grumpy meets sunshine romance. Again, sounds fun. And then The Sweetest Connection. Two best friends have 1 week to return a lost love letter found in a candy store at the airport and work up the courage to confess the deep feelings between them before one of them leaves the country. That one sounds so sweet and adorable. Then we also have the Steminist novellas by Ali Hazelwood. These are some of the few books that I haven't read from Ali, and so I feel like I probably should go ahead and do that. So this one also has 3. They are kind of science-based. I've heard mixed things about these, but you know, I gotta read her entire backlist, right? So Under One Roof, an environmental engineer discovers that scientists should never cohabitate when she finds herself stuck with the roommate from hell, a detestable big oil lawyer who won't leave the thermostat alone. Sounds funny. And then Stuck With You, a civil engineer and her nemesis take their rivalry and their love to the next level when they get stuck in a New York City elevator. I don't like elevators. I don't like being stuck in elevators. I don't know. No. And then lastly, we have Below Zero. A NASA aerospace engineer's frozen heart melts as she lies injured and stranded in a remote Arctic research station, and the only person willing to undertake the dangerous rescue mission is her longtime rival. This one sounds really interesting, and I kind of am obsessed with the like Arctic or Antarctic, I guess, TikToks that are on there, like of people that live and work on the bases there. I just think that that's so fascinating, and so that could be a fun little story, and those are all on my Kindle, so I'll be able to read those. Last week I undertook this huge project where I went through all of my Kindle books and put them into a spreadsheet, because Kindle does not let you sort by page number, and I needed to know this information, so I put everything on a spreadsheet, and now I can sort it by page number. So I have a lot of books that are on there. Obviously I'm not getting to all of these this weekend, but you know, we'll have another 48-hour readathon happening in a couple of months, if you're interested in that. One that I definitely want to get to though is Heart of Silk and Shadows by Lizette Marshall. This is a prequel novella to The Court of Blood and Bindings, which I really loved this summer. It's one of those books that like, I didn't necessarily like, it wasn't a 5-star book or anything like that, but the more I was away from that book, the more I kept thinking about it. So I really want to continue the series, and there's a little novella. It says, stealing from a Fae Lord is a desperate plan. As a human servant at the Crimson Court, Allie knows better than to anger the Fae. Cunning and politics are her tools of survival. But when an unwanted suitor threatens her younger sister, Allie can think of only one way to protect her family: steal from the Fae. Sounds fantastic. So it says it can be read as a standalone, but the character's journey continues into the main series, so I'm not going to be spoiled by anything, as I have not like continued past book 1. Another one that's been on my radar for a little bit now, it was in Spiffbo this past year, and this is South Breaks by Hannah Steenbach. It says, South's days are numbered. After serving and protecting the Holy Empire for 25 years, she is facing the ultimate sacrifice: giving up her life on top of the pyramid. Fate intervenes in the shape of a nameless guide, a clever mule, and a rockfall. Soon, South's mind is reeling from all that she is learning about herself and her powers. Dealing with loss while building a new life, she has to risk everything she gained to save someone else. This is the first book in a trilogy, I believe. There are 3 books out right now. So the first one comes in at just under 200 pages, and then they get a little bit bigger as we go on, but this could be a fun start to a series. This book has been sitting on my Kindle for so long. It's a novella that is attached to The Sword of Mercy and Wrath, which is a book that I read for my very first Spiffbo that I was a part of. So this is The Sword of Salt and Smoke by N.C. Kusis. It is just under 100 pages, so a very quick read, but it has been on my Kindle for so long, I need to read it. No one escapes their past. Kyra, the daughter of a disgraced royal guard, was raised to fight and kill. It's all she knows how to do, and she's damn good at it. She knows how to tie a knot in a man's intestines before he bleeds out. What someone sounds like when they've had their throat cut out, but just won't die. Oh my gosh. She's also a Wookdalak. a man-eating werewolf. She's hired to kill a man named Gornon. I'm probably saying that name wrong, but the hunter becomes the hunted. The Order of the Golden Sword come after her, who happen to hunt creatures just like her. And they're damn good at it too. This is one of the first forays into grimdark fantasy that I tried a couple of years ago. So this obviously sounds brutal and a little gory, but also kind of interesting. Okay, let's switch tracks completely. A couple of romance books. Romance novellas are a lot of fun. This one is a little bit tentative only because I'm not a huge fan of Tessa Bailey's novellas, but we might try it, okay? So this is Same Time Next Year by Tessa Bailey. It is about 144 pages, so a little bit more than that Christmas one that was literally just smut. A steamy novella full of hope and humor, tracking a couple's fake marriage for a year after the wild New Year's Eve when they first say I do. Sounds interesting and fun, and you know, it's Tessa. She is gonna have some good smut. We will say that. This one sounds like just a fun, silly, goofy time. This is Not Happy Campers by Ash Keller. The only thing worse than being stuck in an RV with your enemy? Having to pretend you're madly in love. Lance Blakeman is an up-and-coming literary agent with a chance to represent the biggest horror writer since Stephen King. Unfortunately, the client doesn't want to work with a bachelor. Lance needs a fiance fast. Lainey Fredrickson is a struggling artist making ends meet by waitressing at a local diner. Or she has been, until pretty boy Lance got her fired for accidentally spilling a beer on him. The way he carried on, you'd think she had deliberately doused him with radioactive waste. Now she has exactly $4.23 to her name. Not enough for a nice latte, let alone rent. When Lance offers Lainey cash to pose as his fiance, she can't afford to say no, even if it means spending a week in a cramped RV with him. But can they fool the client without fooling themselves? There's a fine line between love and hate, and with kisses this sweet, the line is about to be blurred. Sounds like a fun time, honestly. If you've been around my channel for a while, you'll know that Django Wexler is one of my favorite fantasy authors, and he has a new sci-fi series. The first one is a novella. I don't know if the rest of them will be. It came out late last year, and I've had it on my Kindle, but I haven't read it yet. So here we are. This is Last Stop by Django Wexler, a new action-adventure sci-fi series set in a dangerous world which one must fly or die. When his older sister, Quedra Sayul, saying that wrong for sure, was brought down by her political enemies, pilot extraordinaire Zam followed her into exile. Quedra, I don't know if I'm saying this right, a military genius once known as the Diamond Knife, and now commands the mercenary airship Last Stop and its motley crew, and Zam leads its tiny air wing. When he's not roistering in bars and dodging moneylenders, that is. The one thing keeping this ragged outfit together is everyone's desire to survive on the edge, even if that means smuggling, battling pirates, and flying too close to the solid floor of clouds known as the layer, below which the merciless insectoid mantids hold sway. This sounds fun. Sci-fi pirates? I think that's basically what I'm trying to get to. It says it's perfect for fans of Firefly. Listen, I'm sold. Say less. All right, let's do one last one. And this one is so far out of my comfort zone. I don't read a lot of dark romance, but you know, can't hurt to try, right? This is Lottie's Hidden Love by Darcy Hayes and Lisa Wood. Lottie hated the cold. Legitimately hated it. Same girl, same. Moving to Vermont to escape the violence that had taken over her life was her new beginning. When she applied for a job at a local ski resort, she never imagined she would end up working for the hottest men she'd ever seen. She definitely didn't expect to fall for them. Every single one. Kyle, Jake, and Eli were best friends who shared everything. To say their sex lives were adventurous would be an understatement. Lottie walked into the ski resort and they knew they'd found the missing piece in their lives. She was holding something back, something that could put everything they knew to the test. So this is Polly, this is Why Choose. It has male, and female, male, female, male, and BDSM. So it's got a lot in it. And this comes in just under 200 pages, so this could be a fun, sexy time. Those are some of the books that I have on my pile of possibilities for the 48-hour Gala of Peace and whatever other short readathon that I need coming up, because I'm definitely not reading all of these this weekend. Let me know down in the comments what short books you really love, and maybe I will add them to my TBR as well. If you want to see what I have been up to for Realmathon, I will put my last vlog right here for you if you've missed it. And if you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!